Hello, my name is Jacob Irwin, and I will be a senior at St. Francis DeSales High School.
Hi, my name is Vicki Randall, and I will be a junior at St. Francis DeSales High School.
Hello, my name is Patrick Palumbo. I will be a senior at St. Francis DeSales High School.
Hi, I'm Ruth Sagerson. I'm a government teacher and also Moot Court and mock trial advisor at DeSales High School.
Hi there, my name is Joe Pop. I'm an attorney and the legal advisor for St. Francis DeSales High School. We thought it might be useful to have a little informal conversation with some of the students that participated in the competition during this inaugural year to get some of their thoughts, maybe some words of advice or wisdom or just reaction to the competition itself, which might be useful for teacher advisors, students that are looking to maybe compete in the competition for next year. So hope you enjoy it. Hi guys, we just did a taping. You guys successfully completed the competition this year. Great job. I got a couple of questions here for you to kind of get us started. Someone want to tackle, how is this moot court competition different than mock trial? What do you think?
There's no witnesses.
No witnesses, yeah.
You don't have to deal with, making sure they're going to answer your questions correctly and things like that. And you don't have to prepare witnesses or anything, and it's mostly just, you're just debating law and not fact, like you are in mock trial.
Yeah, did you like it better or worse, or was it harder or easier? What did you think?
I don't think either was easier or harder. They both have their own difficulties, but the difference, I think, with moot court was that it's a lot of thinking on your own. You have to know what to use and what not to use, and it's not just knowing the information, it's knowing when to use it and when not to use it. And be prepared to use it whenever, because the judges will just randomly ask you about it. Whereas in mock trial, it's just, do you know the information, and then how you're going to use it, stuff like that.
All right, well, let's talk about the judges there for a minute. So what's your, share some of your experience with the judges. What did you guys think? Were they easy on you, hard on you, or what do you think?
It depends on the judges, to be honest. You will have some judges that will drill you into the ground with questions. They will try and kill you with questions. They'll try and bring your argument down and just try and really go against you. But then you'll get some judges that'll throw you like some softballs, just to after a hard judge drills you, they'll just give you a nice question. That way you can get back on track and you can finish your argument out.
Is that in moot court that you were talking
about?
Moot
court, yeah.
So how does it compare with the judges in mock trial?
Mock trial, I mean, the judges really don't even get involved in mock trial unless you use an objection, and there they really just listen to you and decide based on what you have said on that objection, like whether or not you were right or wrong or what just happened.
Yeah, our judge, when Jake and I were presenting, she would be making facial expressions when we'd answer. She'd be like, or
You may get some of that in actual courtrooms, yeah.
It's kind of scary. When they do that.
Or when they have the confused face, like we don't know what you're talking about, then you get confused.
Right.
It's also nice when you're not even 30 seconds in and they interrupt you. I mean, you got a whole speech plan, it's 30 seconds in, you're already causing problems.
So, as compared to maybe mock trial, which more people maybe are familiar with, having done it before, and you guys did mock trial this last competition year as well. Would you say this one is more adversarial, less adversarial? I mean, what did you think about your fellow student competitors in this one compared to maybe mock trial?
I think you were able to before I went, I was able to see their competition and see how the other side did theirs, and I was able to take some points from their argument and work it into mine. And I think with moot court, you're able to do that. You're able to work with other teams and see what their arguments are and see how they develop the ideas. But in mock trial, it's more how would you slam this person, and did you do the right argument or not? I mean, with moot court, you can just work with more teams. You can do a scrimmage and then afterwards have a big discussion on how to use the law and stuff.
Because you don't have that witness focus where it's a us versus them kind of thing. It's more of a let's all talk about what the positions on both sides are, and we might disagree as to which is the better answer, right, Patrick? I think you'd say, what would you say? What were you saying earlier about, which side should come out ahead on this one?
Oh, the state, of course.
Right. No,
Right.
Charlie.
Oh,
of
and
course
Charlie
it's
for
Charlie.
sure. Yeah.
Charlie's a murderer.
Jacques tried to hit him.
With a plastic shovel.
He had a ski mask on.
And Charlie had a gun.
in his trunk.
Which he pulled out and shot
He was being
twice
threatened.
with a plastic snow shovel.
He was being threatened.
Well, there you go. So, what do you think about the experience of it? So, there's the brief writing, of course, which is, different than mock trial, obviously. But what did you think about, the practices? Did you like those a little better or worse? Or share your experience on
The
your
preparation part of it.
Yeah, on your prep.
Well, I would definitely say it was a lot more work in a shorter amount of time to do. I remember we had practices that were 4 hours long, just going over briefs. Whereas mock trial, you had a little more time to space it out. You could do 2-hour practices every Sunday for a couple months. Whereas this was kind of like, it was like you'd get a month or two. You get like I think we had like a month to write the brief and then another month to form our oral arguments. So it was a lot of hard work to do in a short amount of time, but I think it was worth it.
And if you missed a session, you would miss key information. Like each session, we went over Fourth Amendment or this part of the statute, or you compared it to something else. And if you missed just one of them, you could be totally confused the next day when you do your next.
Compared to something like mock trial, where
Yeah, mock trial you can catch up and just read over the facts and stuff and be like, oh, this is what we went over. But if you missed a moot court session, you'd have to probably go and talk with your advisor and get another session made up.
So, for the people that may be watching, our conversation here today, if you have some fellow high school students that are considering maybe doing this competition, maybe doing mock trial versus moot court, what might you say? What might you share from your experience this year that, some advice for them?
Well,
Don't all speak at once.
I would say if moot court is definitely, it's beyond the trial phase. It's even beyond the appeals phase. You're the ultimate appeal to the Supreme Court now. And you're debating law and not fact, whereas at the trial court level, you're debating facts. You're debating law as well, but the fact portion kind of goes out the door when you get as high as the Supreme Court. It's no longer the place where you can try and defend somebody by trying to say, well, the facts aren't clear or whatever. You can't use that anymore. All you have is the law, and you have to apply the law in the way that you believe is correct. And so it does require a different type of understanding and a different type of way of arguing than mock trial does.
I would say if you analyzing and connecting ideas, how in my one argument I connected an iPad to a laptop and therefore to a cell phone, you could probably do a lot of that. And if you like doing that sort of thing, then moot court would be really good for that.
It also helps you learn the law a lot better. You're constantly learning case law, whereas mock trial, it's about the persuasion of the facts and kill someone here and use your good here and then get someone on their bad facts. Whereas moot court, it was you use the case law, and usually there's case law for both sides of the cases that you can use. So,
right. Maybe just one more follow-up question. So, if, having gone through the whole experience, gone through this whole process, if you had to give yourself one piece of advice to the you that began this process earlier this year, what might that be? What would you say, Jacob?
Well, I would say, you gotta definitely know the case law, but I'd say, practicing and just being comfortable, just constantly being badgered by the judges, being able to kind of just do exercises where you're quick on your feet, because that's something that really gets you is you have no idea what they're gonna ask you, and you don't always know how to respond. So.
I guess I would practice speaking before a lot more people, because sometimes it won't just be you and the judges. There'll be people behind you. You might in my case, I had 2 giant cameras pointing at me, so I would try and not fidget as much. I was very fidgety on the stand, which that distracts people when you talk. So it distracts from your argument if you're playing with your hair or you're messing with your mouth or something on the table. So.
Be prepared for a judge that is extremely difficult. Because I was ready for the judge to ask me some tough questions, but I didn't think she'd be doing this when people answer. And I mean, I got through it fine, I think. I got all my points in. It was just, it was almost a bit distracting, though, to see the judge doing that. So you should probably practice with and have somebody just try and be as difficult as they possibly can with you. And if you can do that, then you'll be fine.
Good. Ruth, anything else to add or ask these guys, or maybe share about your experience with, kind of what, this was our first time as well, with Moot Court.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing for Moot Court that I think we'll improve on next year is that being more difficult and asking the tougher questions. And if you're explaining something and it's really not making that much sense, really, putting you on the spot and forcing you to develop, the weaknesses that you have in your argument. So, I mean, I think that's what we may have learned, is that we need to be a little tougher on you next year.
Yeah, I think, to share maybe one final thought about my experience, I think, with Moot Court, maybe more so than mock trial, everybody is working with the same deck of cards. You all have the same arguments, you all have the same case law. Different spins on the facts are not really part of this as they are with mock trial, which can often, get people thinking of new and inventive ways to spin stuff. But with this, I think to a greater extent, you're working with the same set of cards. And so really, I found this season, if I were to do it over again or a little differently, we would spend a little bit more time in individual performances and drilling and getting yourself ready to get prepared for anything, really. Maybe a little more so than, the individual positions on both sides.
Yeah.
So, anything else you guys want to add, or is that a wrap?
Moot Court rocks.
Moot Court rocks.
Definitely do it again.
I would do again and again.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you guys for sharing some of your experiences with us.